So more steps to get an appointment with anyone, because what did I start this off? I said, this is how to get an appointment with anyone. So far, all we talked about is trying to get around the gatekeeper. What if you can't get around that gatekeeper? What if you got the gatekeeper, got around it, got the person, and then they hung up on you? Okay? If they're in your Dream 100 list, it doesn't matter. You give up only after they buy. So this is actually 3 people taking down 1 person. So this 3 against 1 tackle illustrates the obstacles you face in every day in trying to get your Dream 100 on the phone. So do you have true grit? Because that's what this is all about. So various applications of this content. This is excellent guideline for B2C sales situations. And one of the weakest parts of B2C marketing is the lack of building a bond once your customer enters your world. So we talked about follow-up yesterday. You can use this as another workshop. So as we go through this, think of what tools you could build that would make all this work for you. And then B2C, consider how you might use this material to get affiliates. It's another really good. For B2B, this is obvious. It's really obvious. And how many B2B again? Vast majority of the audience, okay? So for anyone who has to get appointments with B2B prospects, this is really, really seriously obvious, okay? So the object of the game is to get the appointment. Your company needs to create an arsenal of standard tools, all with the objective of getting an appointment. You really want to get an appointment with anyone, you need an arsenal of tools, all created, planned, worked through, planned in advance, perfected. This module offers 12 excellent techniques and/or concepts for getting appointments with the most difficult prospects, followed regularly and systematically. This is an outstanding program for breaking through the clutter. So we're going to talk about what makes the world's greatest salesperson, and I won't tell you, you'll tell me when I'm done with this. Getting the impossible appointment will make all others seem easy, and then tools and techniques. 12 actual steps you can use to get an appointment with anyone. So build these, build them out. Don't leave anything up to chance. Set the bar, guys. Make it easy for yourself and salespeople by laying all these materials out in an easy access format so they have these tools to draw from when they're trying to do their job. So I already covered this, but again, remember, I want these modules to stand independently. So if you just have people who are having trouble getting appointments, you want to pull out the last DVD and this DVD, and the 2 of them work beautifully together. They're even called Part 1 and Part 2. And I want them to see that 48% of all salespeople give up after a single rejection. 1, I'm not interested, and half of all salespeople are gone. 20% will try 2 times, 7% will try 3 times. 3 times, and we've already gone through, what is that? Quick math, 68, 75% gone, okay? We get to 4, and only another 5% will try 4 times. So most salespeople do not like to be rejected. When a client says, no, I'm not interested, that's what most salespeople hear, okay? The best hear something other than no. So average salesperson hears no. The best salespeople hear, you haven't convinced me yet. Keep trying. Okay? Bottom 95%, the best, the top 5%. But then there's this tiny point-something percent who just never give up. Never. If they determine you should be in their Dream 100, they're just going to keep trying until they get you. They're just getting started when other people have long given up and gone away. So the Rocky movies, what resonated with the Rocky movies was that this guy, it was all about his heart. He just wouldn't give up. So here's a killer quote from Rudyard Kipling. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and hold on when there is nothing in you except the will, which says hold on. How many people have heard that from the poem If, right? You could live your life by that poem. But what that's saying is if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they're gone, meaning you're played. You got nothing left. Your muscles are weary. You're, kind of like you guys are after 5 days here. And so it's just the will that's left. So that just shows what true grit is. But when it comes to a sales situation, it's persistence without being obnoxious. Top producers are persistent in an entertaining way. Okay? From the first attempt to eternity, you become part of their lives. Once you start working on a prospect, have it in your mind that you will eventually become friends. It changes your approach to them, especially in a B2B situation. I go after every client like they're going to become my friend. Again, I don't chase clients anymore. I can't even keep up with the clients pouring in the door, but when I did it, I just go at it with my whole heart. At the very least, you will face 12 rejections, and here they are. This will make you 600% more courageous than half of all salespeople. So step one, we just spent an hour on step one. That's how important it is, right? We just spent a whole hour just on how to use the telephone. And let's say after all of that, we failed, okay? So we've covered those techniques. If you got the appointment, let's say you did all that we just went through in the module previously, and you got the appointment. And now it comes to the second one. Remember the cool-off factor. Again, we covered this somewhere else. Let's cover it here too. The cool-off factor is they agreed to get the appointment. You went through all that. You finally got around Shirley, finally got that boss on the phone. And the boss says, sounds great. How about next Tuesday? And between this Tuesday and next Tuesday, they go stone cold on you. You show up, the guy's not even there. Anybody ever have that happen? He forgot, So let's not let them cool off. Fax of confirmation, and again, I already talked about why use a fax. You have to physically touch it in your hands to throw it away. Okay, ideas to confirm the appointment. What would constitute a good follow-up confirmation? Some ideas. We send a worksheet. So when you sign up for one of our webinars, it says, take a look at this worksheet before, and you look at the worksheet, and you just know right away you want to know what this seminar is because the worksheet has all this stuff you don't know the answers to. So it's a really good idea for those people using education-based marketing in its most pure sense where you have a webinar. Letters from others who rave about the meeting. So it depends on how far out we set the guy. If we set the guy out for the next day, we send one confirmation and one in the morning. If we set it for 3 days, we'll have 3 different things we send. If we set it out for 2 weeks, we have 5 different things that we send to make sure we keep that guy sold on it. And a lot of those will include letters from others, or at the very least, a brief note that keeps them warm. So, to prospect, from you, confirming appointment. This is to confirm our appointment on July 13th at 2 o'clock. As discussed, we will be sharing our executive briefing, the 5 most dangerous trends in XYZ industry. I'm sure you will find the information valuable. Other CEOs like you have said that it has helped them in every way from profits to productivity. That looks like a lot on this screen, but in a letter, here's the letter, it's this much copy. So they will read it. That's on purpose. Stupid to send 5-paragraph letter. Oh yeah, that guy called me about it and now he wants me to read this long letter. That is a short letter, powerful, 2 paragraphs of warmth. So what's the context of your follow-up fax after you secured a meeting?
Pause the video now and proceed with the workshop.
If you do not get the appointment, right, you fax, again, for me, I say fax, a brief note to prospect from you regarding a new, whatever your title is. 32% of the companies that Tom Peters cited as exemplary were in financial trouble within 2 years. Our company has free information on how to avoid the same mistakes they made. I will call you to tell you about it. Again, on a letter this big, that's this much copy. You want to keep them short and powerful. So why a fax? We've talked about that. The note should promise some excellent benefit to the client. It should be very brief so that they will read it. It should be somewhat mysterious. Don't spill your whole lunch there. Just mysterious, mysterious. That's mysterious. It's not telling them anything. But it sounds good, doesn't it? Okay, so what would you do after that fax? What would you do? Just fax them that information. What are you going to do? Make a phone call. Okay, I sent Mr. Smith an important fax. I'm calling to follow up. Is he there? Secretary's like, oh, this guy will just not go away. Mr. Smith says he's not interested. Step 4. Surely, this is very important for Mr. Smith and your company. I don't think Mr. Smith realized the profound impact of the information I'm offering. Please tell him that I'm sending more information. Click. Okay. Fax or FedEx. Here's a great description. The heading promises a major benefit. What's the single greatest benefit realized from your core story or your product? And again, we don't want to go deep. 6 ways to improve productivity in XYZ business area. Other executives who have learned these 6 secrets have reduced costs, increased productivity, found their long lost mother. You know, you want to put a couple of mysterious benefits in there. And then the body copy should be all sizzle, no steak. Make it mysteriously irresistible. As part of our ongoing effort to serve the market, our company now offers a free report that can make the difference between success or failure. And mysterious benefit, learn how to cut costs, learn how to increase productivity, learn how to do 10 push-ups on just one thumb, you know, whatever you have to promise. If you're trying to get an appointment, you could directly say so. At that point, if you've gone this deep and all your objective is to get the appointment, then you can just sell the appointment. Who should attend? How long? It'll be 22 minutes plus time for Q&A. When? Scheduled at a mutually convenient time. Where? At our offices, or at your offices, sorry. And then cost. We supply the orientation. You supply the coffee. Because is that orientation free? Didn't cost you a dime to develop your core story? Hell no, it's not free. So you never want to call it free, especially when you get the guy on the phone. It's underwritten by us, sponsored by us, or we pay the cost. You get it for free. It costs us plenty, but you get it for free. That's a favorite line we use for when we're teaching salespeople. You know, look, I'm willing to share this information for you. It costs us plenty, but you get it for free. So it's not free. You want to try and stay away from that word. So you would have a one-page promo. So write down in your assignments to do. And these are tools. You want to create them in advance. You getting that? You want tools so that we got stuff off the shelf, or we've got our toolbox. We design for our clients. It's called your toolbox, your sales toolbox. Click on the double little window, then we open the window, and you take the tools that you have to do the job that you need to do. And they're all created for you. Make sure. Okay? Mysterious benefit, justification of why you would offer this. So here's a great quote from a client. We underwrite the costs of providing these programs as a way to give back to the market that has served us so well. And we covered another one of these yesterday. More benefits, who should attend, how long, X plus time for Q&A. Because you say 22 minutes. You want it to sound precise, by the way. Another real important tip. You want to sound precise. It takes 22.5 minutes. You get in there, you're interesting, you can go for 2 hours. I did that to Carl Reichert. I said, he said, well, how long do you need? This is after 10 times back and forth. I said, 20 minutes. I said, how about tomorrow at 3 o'clock? Really? Are you serious? Yes, I'll be there. I didn't say, really, are you serious? I said, I'll be there. Then he hung up, and I'm like, damn, I am not ready for that meeting at all. I got Carl Reichert, chairman of Wells Fargo Bank, and had the meeting with him the very next day at 3 o'clock. So when I got there, he looked at his watch. You've got 22 minutes. He sounds just like Charlie Munger, by the way, just in case you're wondering. All those billionaires sound the same. And, and I was there for an hour, and then they walked me down the hall and dropped me in the office of a senior executive vice president who I spent 3 hours with and got Wells Fargo as a client. So when scheduled at a mutually convenient time, where at your offices, cost, we underwrite the program, you supply the coffee. So we underwrite says it's not free, is it? Okay? Just rough out some ideas.
Pause the video now and proceed with the workshop.
Now, what would you do after that? Another phone call, okay? Hi, Shirley, this is Bart. Is Mr. Smith in? Hey, Bart, we got your fax, but I know Mr. Smith hasn't looked at it yet. Shirley, I could tell him about it faster than he can read it. You want to ask him if he wants to do that? Okay? Here's a killer. Send an MP3 with a killer promise. This you can email, obviously, because you can't send an MP3 by itself. 2-minute audio that can save your company. You want to say how long in the title of the audio. 2.6-minute audio that can profoundly impact your productivity, your costs, your image, your Name it for you. What is it? Energy. Health. Okay? Yes, put how long the title is right in the subject line of your email, and then the actual title of the MP3 should say how long it is. You can say a heck of a lot in 2 minutes, by the way. You cannot even believe. You heard my commercials. They say a lot in 60 seconds. A lot. Amazing. Sometimes we just get on the phone with a client, and I'm on the phone with a client. I'm trying to explain something. I go, here, let me just play one of my radio spots. And I put my speaker for my thing right up against the phone and just play one of my radio spots. Because it explains it so well in a minute, because we planned like hell. You know what I mean? That minute is expertly worked on. What would be the context? At least write the title now. Write the title. Write the title of your audio file. And again, like, Mark was saying, you could certainly use this earlier. Just rough out some ideas.
Pause the video now and proceed with the workshop.
This was another thing a client did, is they got 6 other CEOs to rave about their core story. Not their product or their service, because that's not what they were selling. They're selling the core story. So, and by the way, who here doesn't have 6 clients that you have a good relationship with that you can get to say almost anything you want them to say, right? Does everybody in here have some people you have a close enough relationship that'll do what you ask them to do, right? Every one of you should be able to get a pretty darn good letter put together that says a really nice thing. Okay, step 8, another follow-up call. I know he hasn't listened to the MP3 yet, Shirley. I actually only called to talk to you. Charm the gatekeeper. We're at that point, guys. Okay? If Mr. Smith will talk to me, I can save him the double-clicking of his mouse and just cover it live. Ask him if he'd like to do that. Okay? Here's a great gatekeeper approach. I actually got an appointment with the head of Charles Schwab, the CEO, David Pottruck, in those days, I don't think he's CEO anymore. After using all this and totally winning over the gatekeeper, I said to her, Shirley, let me ask you a question. Does your boss respect you? All right? Hey, strategist wins every time. I'd certainly like to think so. This is the exact conversation. He respects your input if you give it? I think he does, yes. Okay, well, you've been dealing with me now for several weeks. Do I seem normal to you, credible? I mean, do I seem like a crazy person to you? Yeah, you seem credible. Okay, well, Shirley, I have a way that's going to double your ability to get clients and help your whole company. You could be responsible for doubling the sales of your entire company. And if your boss respects you, and if I sound normal to you, you could be responsible for the company gaining this entire benefit. So all you have to do is help me get an appointment, and you can help your entire company. And if your boss respects you, you should be able to do that. Guess what happened? Bam! Okay, letter of recommendation. Mr. Jones, dear Joe, your CEO program was exceptional. I'm quite surprised that your company has taken the time and invested the money to help me grow a stronger business. I was particularly impressed by the section on the hottest marketing concepts. I definitely learned a few things which will increase my business. Every business should see this mini seminar. Just don't show it to my competitors. What is that letter selling? Is it selling a product or service? What's it selling? The core story. That's all it's selling. It's selling the information I'm trying to sell this guy. So you understand the core story is a whole sales model. And now over these last 5 days, that's what we've given to you, the full-on model. You stop selling your product or service. That's the hardest lesson for you to learn. And we have to slap some people with that. Just bam, why are you still selling roofing? Oh my God. You know? You're not going to get the owner of the building to talk to you about the roof. It's not going to happen. So it's got to be something of that level of interest for that person. And so the first thing we did with that company is we showed that core story to 3 or 4 of their clients. And then we actually wrote the letter and said, give this to your client and tell them to sign it. And all it did, but first they showed it to the client, but some cases they're so close to the client they go, hey, you mind giving me a letter that says this? No problem. You know what I mean? Oh, and then handwrite your own message on the letter. Right? See, Bill, this fellow loved art because it draws attention to it. Make sure the letter pitches what you want to sell, which I've already covered. The orientation, not the product or the service. 10, another follow-up call. Hi, Shirley. I missed you. Hi, Bart. He said he's thinking about it. Great. Send him this. It's a humorous note. So here's Bill Jones, we've been trying to get an appointment with, and here's Betty Smith, and the caption says, I can't talk to Bill Jones right now. Can't you see I have a war to fight? And Bill Jones is trying to sell him a Gatling gun. And he's fighting a war with spears. Cute little thing. Lou, would you make a note? We send this joke to everybody. We'll leave blank spaces by Bill Jones and Betty Smith, so you can use that as one of your faxes. Okay, guess what the next step is? Phone call. Hi, Shirley. You finally got him, Bart. He says he's going to call you next week. A reminder note goes out to Mr. Smith. Dear Mr. Smith, Shirley mentioned that we're going to speak next week. Here's another copy of what I want to discuss with you. Include your orientation description, right? The art of the voicemail. This was brought up. All these folks complain about voicemail. I think it's a fantastic opportunity. I love voicemail. You can run a campaign with it, a heck of a campaign. At our company, we have 6 excellent voicemails scripted for the salespeople. We have 2. How many people where one of my salespeople called you and played Tony Robbins leaving you a voicemail? Anybody in this room? A couple of you? Okay, how's that? Okay. So we just took his radio ad and we just called you up and played the first 40 seconds of the radio ad before he got to the phone number. You know, call free number, call toll free, blah, blah, blah. Okay? We get a 30% callback after the 4th message. Okay, so let me give you some ideas. Each message teaches something of value, is super sincere, and offers to really help them. So from our training manual, think of voicemail as an opportunity to do a customized one-on-one promotional campaign direct to your prospects' private voicemail, right? So now voicemail becomes an opportunity, not an obstacle, because you can do a whole campaign, right? So in effect, you're going to leave 6 commercials for Robbins Homes, each one adding more benefits the prospects can achieve from working with you. Okay, so sample voicemail. Hi, I'm calling from Tony Robbins Business Mastery International. You left us a voicemail in response to How to Double Sales in 12 Months radio campaign. We send reports specific to your particular issues. I'm calling to learn more about your business to make sure that the reports I'm going to be sending are applicable to your given situation. By the way, someone should have timed me. I've got reports on hiring sales talent, becoming less reactive to your business, target marketing, dealing with highly competitive markets, getting a lot of new customers, better marketing, becoming top of mind choice in your market, becoming a better manager, time management, and so on. All I need to know is which one of these would be best for you. Please call me back at. It's probably about a minute. So they get this little commercial. And it sounds good, right? If you got that and you just called in and I offered you all those reports, you'd probably say, send them all. They all sound good, okay? Another sample voicemail. Hey, name, we have a method called your best buyer strategy. It's the fastest, least expensive way to grow any company. And by the way, I just want to point out, the second time we don't say who we are or where we're calling from. Because if the guy's firing through his voicemails, hi, it's that sales guy again from the Tony Robbins company, beep, delete. So we don't say that till the end now. You understand? You're the strategist, right? You've got to think about everything. So it says, we have a method called your best buyer strategy. It's the fastest, least expensive way to grow any company. By focusing like a laser beam on your best buyers, we help companies literally double sales in 12 months or less. Bill, do you have a special effort to your best buyers? It's a lot less to reach them because there's a small number of them, but they buy bigger when they buy. I can help you get those best buyers if you call me back at blah, 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 blah. Again, this is Bill Johnson at Tony Robbins Business Mastery International. You took the time to respond to our radio campaign. Let me help you. We have the best information in the world today on growing companies and managing that growth like a master when it happens. Call me directly at. So you see, I'm I'm marketing here, baby. It's a campaign. There's 6 of those. And each one gives more information, teaches them something. It's really killer stuff. Okay, so what would your voicemail campaign look like? So in your notes, just write down, build voicemail campaign.
Pause the video now and proceed with the workshop.
So what's the most important lesson you learned? Remember I told you at the beginning, I'm going to ask you what makes the ultimate salesperson. What do you think makes the ultimate salesperson from these last 2 modules that you've learned? One word. Dang, you guys are good. Well, pig-headed definitely fits in there. But obviously it's persistence, okay? Remember, most salespeople, they're long gone. So that's why this stuff works, by the way, Ruth. Because nobody else does it. Nobody's going to try that hard, ever. And when you just won't go away, here, remember that the one with the most passion wins. If your desire to have the appointment is greater than their resistance, you'll get the appointment. And contrary to what weaker salespeople feel, like they are bothering the executive, the prospect begins to respect the persistent salesperson. So Robert Smith, who told you it took 2.5 years, what he didn't tell you is in the middle of that, I actually got on the phone with him. And I was like, nah. And he kept going for another 1.5 years and got me as a client. And then he got Jay Abraham as a client. I can't even know how many famous authors this guy has as a client now because of me. The prospect begins to feel an obligation toward the persistent salesperson. You begin to feel like an obligation. If I hit you that many times, you start to go, who's this guy? Why won't he go away? Who here would not start to respect that person after a little while? Right? Besides Ruth. Just kidding. Key question. How much respect can a client have for a salesperson who went away after a single rejection, right? I'm not interested. Click. Well, that product can't be very good. That guy never called me back, right? So in summary, once you begin, you stop only after you have what you want. Attitude is everything. You're going to get what you want to get. You become a part of their lives. Call in one time, the secretary says, oh, he's on vacation in Florida. Call back the next time, oh, they're towing his car away. Call back the next time, I go, well, he's back from Florida. Has he gotten his car out of the towing thing? Yeah, he got his car back. Okay, well, tell him it's Chet. Hold on. Well, he knew you were in Florida. He knew your car was towed away. 2 pieces of information she volunteered to me easily while I was making the phone call, and bam, I got the guy on the phone. Okay? People have tremendous respect for persistence. Okay? What would have happened if Mr. Smith came to the phone after all that and said, no, I'm not interested? What would happen? Same thing. And then wouldn't it have been horrible, by the way, if you got that meeting and then you let him cool off? So make sure you've got a killer follow-up piece. Massive diligent follow-up, which we've covered. So web application, all of these tools can be used on your website. Mine is streaming video, free articles, reports, tutorials, tons of great free education. I'm here today in front of you because of 17 years of persistence, right? 17 years. The last 5 years were more intense, and the last year was ridiculous, how much work I did for these guys in different areas. So there's nothing you can't do if you're persistent. That's the bottom line, okay? Definition of luck, who can tell me? When preparation meets opportunity. So you need to be prepared. When preparation meets opportunity, that's when you get lucky. You think I am lucky to be standing up here in front of you guys? You think I'm lucky? Well, because I'm the definition of lucky. I was prepared, and then the opportunity arose. So this training works really well, especially if you have what kind of discipline and determination? Now. There you go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So this is called Selling Systems for Ultimate Success, Section 3. This is all presenting A to Z. And we're going to rapid fire through this. So, what makes an effective presentation? You want to increase your closing ratio